Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad. You're watching Firewood at the Furnace. Lots of new subscribers have come on board since the Eastonmade arrived here in the yard. So I'd like to welcome you all, and I hope you're enjoying the content. You can go back. We've been doing it now for 2 years. You can go back to the very beginning and see how all this started and how we have evolved and grown and keep pushing forward to try to make this a more efficient operation. What started out as a hobby has grown into quite the hobby and maybe even a small business at this point. But today we're going to split some Hickory with the 1222, and we're going to talk moisture meters. I've talked briefly about moisture meters in the past and what my thoughts are on them. I'm going to try out a new one today, and if you stick around, I might tell you a little bit about how you can get your hands on one. So that's what's in store for today. Stick around. So just in case you are new here, if it's only your first or second time here, this is the setup that I'm using currently. This is something that I'm trying out new since the Eastonmade 1222 has arrived and the conveyor is in operation now. So this is what I do for the moment. I have the dump trailer backed underneath the conveyor. The conveyor is backed up to the outfeed table on the Eastonmade 1222, and then I try to position my rounds on the log lift side of the table. This is the Hickory right here, just a little bit of Hickory here that we're going to process today. And once we get that done, I'm going to take you over to that black birch that we bucked up and split and put in an IBC tote a while back. I'll link that video here at the top for you if you missed that we brought back from the Iron and Oak sawmill when we visited with them up there. And we're going to check the moisture on that black birch, and we're going to check the moisture inside of this Hickory. I got a few comments that I want to tell you about. I got a few opinions I want to tell you about, and you can take those for what they're worth, just based on my experience and what I've been doing here. But we're going to get this Hickory started, and hopefully the conveyor hangs in there today, because the 1222 is going to be pushing it through. So before I start the Eastonmade up here, I just wanted to touch on one thing that I've noticed here recently. As I've operated different machines, and as I've looked around and done research on different machines, I've picked up on some things that I would not have noticed this time a year ago or this time 2 years ago. So those of you who are kind of new to the hobby or new to the business, I just want to kind of touch on some things as I learn them and pass them on to you. And one of the things that I've realized in the past couple weeks is the way these Eastonmades are constructed are slightly different than some of the competitors that Eastonmade has. One of the main competitors of Eastonmade is producing strangely similar machines, but one thing that is different about them is the width of the axle. And the good thing about this Eastonmade here is you can operate this machine from either side, including standing right here next to the log lift, and easily access the controls for the machine. This axle being narrower allows you to position yourself in a safe and comfortable manner to run the machine. Some of the other manufacturers got this great big wide axle that sticks out past the hydraulic tank with a big fender over it, and you find yourself standing way out here and reaching over the wheel and tire to operate the machine. That may appeal to some people. I don't think it is appealing to me, but that's just one of the subtle things that I've noticed and learned that I wanted to pass on to you. So let's fire up the Eastonmade. We'll get some Hickory rounds on here and get split. right, 49 minutes later. 49 minutes later on the Eastonmade 1222, and we are done with the Hickory. However, with 2 rounds left to go, just 2 rounds, here we are, back in this situation again. The chain, I heard something get hung up here at the top. The chain started really bouncing and skipping, and next thing I knew, the chain stopped. I thought it had just jumped off the sprocket again, but lo and behold, the chain's gone. Must have slid all the way down inside the bottom there. So I'll have to get my replacement links and fix it yet again. But I'm not getting frustrated with this. This is something that I knew was going to happen, and this is a cheap upgrade that I made a while back, just to see if it was going to help me in the yard. And obviously now with the new machine, the new 1222 splitter, it's a necessity. So my thinking is that by this time next year, I will have an Eastonmade conveyor ordered. I'm not going to continue to fight with this thing. It's going to get me through for now, but we will be changing that to orange and blue eventually. All right, so now that we got a little bit of wood split, let's talk a little bit about moisture meters. I kind of teased that in the beginning there. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's worthy of mentioning again because I get questions a lot on the videos and the comments. People wondering how I know when my wood is dry, seasoned, and ready to go. I will tell you that most of the people who sell firewood around me, obviously I watch their operations. I check out what they're doing and, look at the equipment they're using. And from what I've gathered, the majority, not all, but the majority of the people who sell firewood around me split it and put it out for sale. Some people say their wood is seasoned if it sits a season. So if they split it in summer, then it's ready in the fall. And that's simply not true. Depending on the species of wood, depending on what the status of it is when you cut it, if it's standing dead, if it's live when you cut it, makes a big difference. So how do I know when my wood is seasoned? Well, as a 24-year law enforcement officer, I took many classes on investigative procedures and investigations. I look at firewood when it's ready to go as kind of an investigation. There's several different factors that come into play. You can look at the wood, you can feel the wood, you can listen to the sound of the wood. And when I say look at the wood, I'm talking about are the ends cracking? Is the bark starting to separate or completely barkless? Those are good signs. When I say feel it, I mean pick it up and actually feel the weight of it. If it's wet, it will feel heavy for the size that it is, especially oak and locust and some of the more dense wood. So you can feel the weight difference. If it's light, chances are most of the moisture's out of it. The sound. If you bang 2 pieces of wood together and it sounds like bowling pins or it has like a hollow sound, then you know the wood is probably pretty dry. Another tool in the toolbox is a moisture meter. Now this company here sells moisture meters on Amazon. They're $19.99 right now. Toptes, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they sent me a moisture meter, and I'm going to use this today to check this black birch, and we're going to check the hickory that we just got done splitting. These are the moisture meters that I used to use, and I know this one is a lot of you use this moisture meter. This is another one that's available. I don't care for this one because I constantly bend the pins on top. They're very thin. Although they are replaceable, they constantly bend. Now, a moisture meter is simply a tool to use in addition to all the other things that I just explained. So this Toptes Moisture Meter, model is TS630, comes in the box with a owner's manual, user manual, the meter itself, which has a very large display. You can change the background colors if you like. It comes with replaceable tips and a wrench to use, and a little carry case for it. And it also comes with a set of batteries, which is really nice. Duracell batteries come in the box. Most things you buy these days are batteries not included, but this one has the batteries with it. So I'm going to get the batteries in this, set it up, and we'll talk a little bit more. All right, so this meter is pretty neat. It's got some additional features that other meters don't have. One being the ambient temperature outside. It tells you the temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit, and right now it says that it's 43.4 degrees out here, and I know that's about right. But it's got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it's got seven different modes. So you can use this not only for firewood, but you can use it for walls, you can use it for a transom of a boat. Anything that you want to know what the moisture content is inside of, you can use one of these meters for. So it's got two different modes for firewood, which is mode A and B. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bust one of these little pieces of black birch open. You remember when we split this originally, and I'll have to put the date up here on the screen. I'll look back and see when we originally did this, but the moisture content was pretty high. You could actually see the water coming out of it as we split it. So we're going to bust one of these open and we'll see what it is now. All right, this is the side we just split. Moisture content as of right now is about 25%. So we'll try the other side. This is the piece we just split, and we're at about 20%, 21%, somewhere in there. So the moisture content is definitely dropping out of there. You can hear the sound of the wood. Starting to sound a little hollow. So that wood still has got a little ways to go, but it's drying out pretty nicely. But anyway, this moisture meter can be yours. Not this one in particular, but I've got another one, brand new one that they sent me, that I am going to give away to somebody on the next Thirsty Thursday live stream. And all you need to do is like this video and drop a comment below and let me know if you use a moisture meter or not. If you're using one, I'm curious to see if you depend on it 100% or if you use it in conjunction with your other methods of knowing when your firewood is ready. There's three things you need to season firewood: time, sun, and wind. Those three things translate into a good quality product, and by listening to the sound of your wood, looking at your wood, feeling your wood, and confirming it with a moisture meter or adding some information with a moisture meter, you can be sure that you're selling a product that's ready to burn. All right, before we wrap up here, we'll check the moisture on a piece of this hickory here that we just got done splitting. Kind of put a little time stamp on the video here. Today is Saturday, January 7th, I believe. We're going to check the moisture on this so we can refer back to it here and see how long this stuff takes to dry. So the moisture on this hickory right now, freshly split, is about 32%. Check it on the other side here. A couple different places. 34%. And closer to the center, it's up near 45%. So we'll see how long that takes to dry out. Some people say that the square pieces take longer than the triangle pieces. I don't know if I'm on board with that or not, but we will find out. The 1222 did awesome. I'll get the conveyor going again here. Eventually we'll get all the weak links out of that chain and hopefully be able to run it well. So that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, maybe learned a little bit. Don't forget to leave a comment below and like the video so that I can enter you in a chance to win one of these moisture meters. So have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.